pair of, now according to Brian Yennis, our correspondent, his police sources say they definitely are a pair of pressure cookers. They have shut down the Fulton Street station in Lower Manhattan. Apparently one was found inside, we've heard initial reports, the other outside.
Ben Franklin said those who would give away their essential liberty for a little temporary security deserve neither liberty nor security. Those who give away their liberty put your liberties in danger because they're the people that expect you also to give away your liberty. And if you don't, well, they're not happy about that. So they usually call for more government to force your liberty away from you. The rice cooker story in New York looks like it was a major distraction or a diversion to me. Let's watch carefully what Faux News is trying to promote here.
And Dan, it's great to have Dan Bongino, who has, as a law enforcement, has investigated this for a while. Dan, we don't know whether or not they're live.
Sure.
We don't know if they've got explosives in them, but clearly they are meant to scare people.
Yeah, and New York City, thankfully, the NYPD, where I worked for 4 years, has the finest bomb squad, in my opinion, in the world, if not one of the finest. Right now is probably when you're going to bring in the robots. You're going to take a look through X-ray what's inside. They can tell relatively quickly if there's any kind of circuitry that appears abnormal, obviously, for a pressure cooker. And then after that, if it, God forbid, is deemed to be a device, they'll put it in that truck. And they're going to have to go take it out to where they take it, the facility, and they're going to have to detonate and remote and obviously find out what happened. But we don't know that yet. Obviously, we'll see what's inside.
Well, how diabolical. It's rush hour.
The entire Fulton Street subway station was evacuated and shut down for 2 rice cookers. What we've seen in the past is that scenarios like this are used as drills before the initiation of an actual live event. But this also serves to further acclimate people to the massive, concentrated presence of law enforcement agents, while they work to keep the general population safe. Usually on Fox, you see them trying to convince viewers of how great and necessary law enforcement is. But check out what Fox says here.
Now, as you know, New York City has got more cameras on corners and at locations like this than most cities in the United States for just such a purpose. So if one person did drop off both of them, we're going to see that on video in no time, aren't we?
We've got cameras on every street corner for just such a purpose. These cameras are there to keep you folks safe. This 1984 Big Brother scenario is a good thing. Embrace it. Give up your privacy and your freedom so these cameras can help keep us all safe.
Yeah, one of my best friends, actually, when it was in my wedding when I grew up, he's a great guy. He works in TERU, the Technical Assistance Research Unit. And the NYPD has a network of cameras themselves they operate, but when you put that in conjunction with private cameras, which are now everywhere, and not only that, Steve, the cameras have gotten better. The resolution is finer now.
High def.
Yeah, and the chances of in Lower Manhattan, I mean, we're not talking about an area of the Midwest that's not densely populated. The chances in Lower Manhattan of walking on any street corner, as he told me once, and not being recorded by multiple cameras are nil, not zilch. So someone's on camera somewhere.
Someone's on camera somewhere in Lower Manhattan. We've got to have those cameras. Former law enforcement agent Don Bongino assures us that in these densely populated city areas, we got to keep watch on all you guys. For your protection and safety, of course. And then, just like you see on leftist media, Fox reintroduces the tried and true concept of the desired second leg of the Hegelian dialectic, the vital ingredient to control the masses, fear.
There's so much fear, in all of us with school shootings and church shootings and what's happening at these ICE facilities and also 9/11, of course, and this happening downtown.
Gosh, there's so many things happening out there. It's such a scary world. There's so many things to be fearful of. We need these guys in law enforcement to protect us. If it wasn't for them, what would we do? See? This is why we extort you through taxation. We want our plantation slaves to feel safe as they hand over more of their freedoms to their captors.
And I know we've got the finest counterterrorism department here with our police department.
Yeah, it's impossible not to get caught in New York City. I mean, New York City is really the surveillance capital of the world. Like I said, the private camera network and the public camera network.
What do you mean, the private camera?
Private cameras. In other words, the NYPD has their own camera network for hotspots, crime locations, but private businesses, whether it be Fox or anyone else on the street, have their own network of cameras that the NYPD will send their people in and say, hey, can we get access to the footage? And typically the businesses in New York, under very rare circumstances, will say no. They'll say, sure, no problem. You know, they're always eager to help out. It's their business. It's their city, too. So really, it's the city's under surveillance all the time, whether you know it or not.
Now, there's no doubt that surveillance cameras can be used to capture real criminal activity, and that's a good thing. But cameras in the context of mass surveillance with the cover story of, we got to record everybody, everywhere, at all times for your safety, is submitting to the 1984 dystopian nightmare as it legitimizes one of the largest police crime rings in the country, the NYPD. Keep your heads up and your eyes open. News stories like this and the mass shootings we're hearing about are merely priming the unthinking masses and preparing them to give away more of their rights for a little government-promised security. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.
Obviously, this was intended to scare the living daylights out of people.